Hey!
Chris!
What?
Hey, start our sheriff's department, you okay?
What? Hold on one sec.
Hey, Chris! Hey, Chris!
Hey, what?
Hey, just come here, we ain't gotta yell at ya!
Alright, hold on. You guys just called me like 10 minutes ago? Hey, did you guys call me from a blocked number?
I can hear you yelling, I can't understand what you're saying.
Did you call me from a blocked number?
Okay, yeah, that was me. You want to talk on the phone?
No, I don't want to talk really at all. Why, what's up?
Hey, just come downstairs, but we don't have to yell at each other so much.
Alright. Raphael, you see this shit? Just forgive them, dude. What the fuck did we do now, dude? You didn't do anything. Let me grab a cigarette.
Hey, I'm over here by the garage.
Alright.
Can you hear me?
Hold on, I'm coming.
Alright. Sure.
Don't fuck around with me. I'll end your life, nigga.
Chris! Where'd you go, Chris? There you are. Hey, it's just me. Look, it's just me. All right?
I seen you guys out here for 3 hours already.
All right. Why do you carry a fake gun, dude?
Why do I carry a fake gun?
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
Is it fake? Don't reach for it. Don't reach for it. Don't reach for it.
Alright.
I can't tell if it's fake or not, okay?
Alright.
So
You're
step
back?
forward a little bit. Step forward a little bit. Keep your hands in the air, Chris. You just reach for a gun.
It's not a real gun, dude.
Bump up, guys.
You guys know it's not a real gun.
Chris.
Yeah.
All I know is the paint of the orange. I can't see through that screen too well. Okay? Walk forward. Walk forward. Chris, keep your hands in the air. Walk forward. Don't reach for that thing again.
My hands aren't in the air.
Chris, put your hands in the air, bro.
My
I
hands
want to
aren't-
do this, dude.
my
I want
hands
to
aren't-
help you.
My hands aren't
Chris,
in the air.
I want to help you, okay?
You're not helping me.
Step forward.
You're not
Step
helping
forward,
me.
Chris.
Hey, don't tear my
Step
veil
forward,
down.
Chris.
Don't tear my
Chris,
veil down,
step
man.
forward, please.
Guys.
Please, Chris, step forward.
Okay, I'm
I'm
step.
asking you, Chris, please step forward. You and I will talk about this. I want to help you. Don't. Chris, don't do it, bro.
Don't do what?
Don't do it. Walk this way.
Don't do what?
Walk this way. Don't back up on me like that, like you're going somewhere.
I'm not going
Chris,
anywhere. This is
walk
my
this
house.
way.
This is my house.
Keep your hands in the air. Walk this way,
This
Chris.
is a fake gun.
Chris, I can't tell. I'm staring at you now. Okay?
Okay.
Stop it. Don't do it.
Can I go home?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Can I go home?
Chris, just walk forward.
Come on, guys.
Chris, please.
Seriously?
Chris, please.
I can't leave you're back here too.
Please, Chris.
Please
Thank
what?
you. Chris, what?
Please what? You said you just wanted to talk to me.
All right. Don't reach for that.
Okay, I won't.
Don't reach for that.
I won't. What's up?
All right.
You said you
We're walking away.
You said you just wanted to talk. You said
Walk away. Walk away.
you said you just wanted to talk.
I know. I just want to talk to you, but don't be reaching for that thing, okay?
You can take it out of my back pocket if you want.
Then come here and I'll take it out of your pocket.
Don't cross the line though, okay?
Back up.
You can take it out of my back pocket.
Back up. Everybody back up.
Here.
Everybody back up.
He says he's gonna take
Back
it.
up.
Here.
Back up.
You said you're gonna take it out of my back pocket.
I'm not going to deal with that right now, Chris. All right?
Can I try to take it out?
Just leave it there.
Like I'm gonna reach for my. I'm gonna reach for this.
Don't reach for it, Chris.
I'm not gonna grab the gun itself. I'm gonna grab the keychain.
Drop it on the ground.
Here you go.
Drop it on the ground.
If you'll make it feel more comfortable, okay?
Drop it on the ground.
Let's make it feel more comfortable.
Drop it on the ground.
These are my keys, though. I'm gonna put them right here. But you can inspect it if you want. It's just a fake gun. All right?
Keep your hands out of your pocket.
He's been out here all morning long. You tore down my veil.
Can I come look at it?
No, that's a $50,000 fine. Hey, that's a $50,000 fine on you. That's been on the door.
Chris,
I notified the sheriff. You wearing a sheriff's deputy uniform? That's
Chris,
$50,000. You guys have already been
can I come look
informed.
at it?
But wait, that's between me and him. That's a private
no,
contract
no,
with you and
no,
me.
Chris.
You entered into contract with me when you destroyed this.
Chris,
It's
you don't have to touch illegal
$50,000
mumbo-jumbo.
for every violation.
Touch illegal mumbo-jumbo.
You're cool, you're alright with me, bro, but it's him
I want to
in
be
the
able
white
to
shirt.
that right there.
I told these guys, $50,000 for every violation. When you guys violate my rights, it's $50,000.
That's a good start, and that might only get worse.
You can call me after 12. I take open calls every day, Monday through Thursday, 12 to 9 p.m.
Going along pretty well. I don't ask to leave, but nobody except that I must do whatever Providence demands. So the individual is not very sure of his place in the plan of things, if he has one. Some feel that they are simply the result of biological progression, that there is no reason for anything in the first place, and therefore that the answer to it all is to quietly get through life as comfortably as possible. Others are a little more dynamic in their thinking. They feel that we should go through life making all the noise we can, that we should be busy every moment and dissipate as far as Constitution will permit. Others take some reference in philosophy. They try to understand the reason for life, but they are so unpopular that nobody pays much attention to them. Then the theologian comes along, and he has a very interesting story that was effective until quite recently. In those days when the average person's life was not more than 35 years, or he was able to escape a major dilemma in his community, such as a plague, a fire, or an invasion, these people, under theological pressures, tried to gain a certain patience and insight. They were trying to understand what God wanted them to do, and were doing the best they could under the conditions. Theology told them, or explained to them, that the original point behind the whole thing was original sin. Way back in the dawn of time, Adam and Eve things, there has to be a reason for what happens. This universe has got some kind of controlling mind. Find out what the universe wants us to do. That was never popular. Because science never agreed with what we wanted to do. So suddenly there's a small party, and along came science, and one was took care of that. Today science has become the reason for existence. And also at the moment, possibly the most likely cause for the end of it. So science became a kind of intellectual hobby. It enabled human beings to find a new outlet, things to do, things to think about, and experiments to make that were fully fascinating.
And then it just bounced. Look, they all just bounce. Like fucking... Oh man, that didn't work. I full tore down my veil. I'm calling the FBI. I'm gonna call the FBI right now. It's bullshit. I have to take this shit from these people, dude.
The more we advance, the more affairs go backwards. So this doesn't seem to be a very good answer. Of course, politics as an answer to anything is virtually impossible. Nobody knows. We're in a condition in which we have very few definite supports. And yet we are here. And we are here for an approximate length of time. And time is the measure of opportunity. It is in time that we must succeed or fail. It is in time that we grow or decline. It is in time that the span of our lives can be measured within reasonable accuracy. So we have here a time, now approximately 80 years. This doesn't mean it's a limitation. People can live much longer. But on a general average, that's a fair point. Now, this 80 years seems to be quite a span. In the eyes of nature, the universe is about 1 second. And the things that happen in a generation hardly register on the clock of universal events. But we do have this span of time. We have gradually lengthened it. We have made it much more interesting. We have done all kinds of things to use, abuse, misuse time. And yet we have it as a commodity. It really is about the only thing we bring with us as the basis of opportunity for growth, for improvement, or for the development of the individual or collective destinies of mankind. So we all have this time. Now, when we say 80 years, we're not meaning that the individual has 80 years in which to do things. Far from it. Nearly a third of that time has to be used in sleep or rest. Another third of it has to be used to earn a living. And in early life, there's very little achievement. And towards the end of life, there is a weariness which doesn't want to labor too heavily. So out of the 80 years that we have, we are very lucky as individuals if we can call one quarter of that free time. Time to do as we please. But off and on, barring accidents and incidents, we have about 20 years of man-made time in which to do what we were here to do in the first place. Something. We've got to do something with this time. We may want to simply get through it as quickly and as easily and as comfortably as possible. This seems to be the prevailing mode at the moment. Time is a disagreeable period. And the only thing to do to make it endurable is to waste it. And the better we waste it, the shorter life will be, and the longer we will have in which to pass into some oblivion we know not of. So all this brings up the point of today. Here we are with a small span of opportunity. Time to do something. Time to be something. With very little attention as to what we're going to do or what we're going to be. Now, I would say that the majority of young people today, the majority, are so uncertain on this issue that they decide that the only thing to do is to have fun as long as they can. And fun becomes a way of filling up the active quarter of human life that is not occupied by inevitable pursuits. Fun now is all kinds of things. And today, fun is not what it used to be. In the older days, fun was largely a domestic household procedure. The small community made its own entertainments, and between birthday parties and Christmas and holidays and church festivals, the individual got the idea that he was enjoying himself. At least he thought he was doing fairly well. Today, most of these answers are gone. And today, fun is for the most part dissipation. Fun is the individual definitely and desperately trying to get the reason for himself. And yet he has this self. He cannot explain it, but he knows it's there. He knows that this self in him is alive and is part of a greater life. He breathes, he thinks, he feels. Therefore, there is some part of himself that is in there as a conscious unit, a being. And this being is to the most part an annoyance. This being may have brought forward from the past a certain amount of moral tradition. It may also watch news reports and see what happens to people who abuse being and the trouble they get into. But having watched everyone else get into desperate trouble, the new viewer gets into the same trouble himself without a moment's hesitation. Actually, we are here without motivations, and yet we have opportunity. So one of the things we must admit about life is that for many people at least, life is a wasted opportunity. There should be something better we can do with it. There should be something about it that we can pass on as an achievement, so that our descendants will be glad that they are here and that we have made life better for them. So this problem brings up the great issue that we want to discuss, the proper use of time. And we must admit, I think, the old saying that time is not for wasting. And yet we are doing everything we can to waste it. Our entertainment is a waste of time for the most part. It has been highly philosophized that all these various programs indoctrinate us in great principles and truth and encourage us to avoid ills. But in practice, it does not work that way. We simply sit glued to the tube, and whatever is on there we take. And we waste the time that we might be doing something with. Now, one of the reasons why we come to this conclusion is that every once in a while, an individual has an opportunity. He has a chance to do something bigger and better than he's ever done before, and he is totally inequipped to do it. He has not any background that is going to support a better level of living or thinking than he now has. He hasn't advanced his studies well enough to claim a better profession. He hasn't a deeper understanding of life with which to build a better home. He hasn't any basic moral integrities to impart to his children. And in the world of politics, he does not know who to vote for, and for the most part doesn't care. Now this is not good, and yet it comes about as the inevitable result of an unplanned life. Now, if you tell people today, young people especially, that life is something to plan for, and they will do everything they can possibly can to get rid of you, they do not want to plan, because they'll feel that they are surrounded by circumstances that make planning useless. And one of these is nuclear warfare. Many young people today do not expect to fulfill their life expectancy. They believe that somewhere along the line they're just going to be eliminated. Therefore, what they think, what they do, and why becomes comparatively unimportant. The problem is to live now and make every opportunity to enjoy yourself while you can. This was the motto of the old Romans: eat, sleep, be merry, but tomorrow you may die. This type of thinking has always burdened a world that continued to nurse ignorance and continued to support falsehood. But now in the 20th century, things are getting a little more complicated. There are more people, there are greater problems, there is less integrity, there is more conflict, and every individual sort of feels that his neighbors are his enemies. And the neighboring countries are enemies. And those in office are enemies. And life itself, from the storekeeper to the politician, each is an adversary in itself. So we are here in a world in which most people are not able to cope with the daily circumstances of life. Now those who are a little older in years have certain inheritance of thoughtfulness, and they are continuing to the best of their ability to make life a little better for themselves and each other. And youth is coming face to face with a major dilemma of its own. It is now becoming increasingly obvious to young people that dissipation is a fatal mistake. That this problem of trying to obscure time, trying to waste time by forgetting you even exist, is not working out. Little by little, a younger generation is destroying itself, or at least disillusioning itself about its own attitudes. So with this type of thinking, we have to realize that an educational process is going on, whether we know it or not, or whether we like it or not, or whether we will accept it or not. Life is not a series of events that have no relationship to each other and no meaning. To attempt to prove that life is meaningless is to gradually transform an interesting and remarkable existence into a state of meaninglessness. It is meaningless simply because we have destroyed the meaning ourselves. So out of this comes a gradual recognition that is taking over very strongly at the present time, that the life of fun, the life of do as you please, the life that give no thought to each other, all this type of thinking is definitely wrong and is producing definitely destructive results. This is the most active and most positive proof that we have that the universe is an integrated being, that the universe has integrities. One of the simple evidences found through the ages has been that those things which have integrities receive natural support. Those that go against integrities destroy themselves. Nature does not give a victory to that which is not right. It gradually, inevitably, remorselessly forces the individual, the generation, or the humanity back into line with truth and with facts. Now we're beginning to see this. We're beginning to see the young people we knew a few years ago starting in our out in life, and we see now that they are wrecks. We see that they have lost all their values, that the moral code is falling apart, and that freedom, as we call it today, is nothing but a travesty. It is the ability of the individual to do nothing. The right that he has to be wrong in every sense of the word. And this is simply not working out. If we could prove that a lawless generation lived better because it lived according to its own inner convictions, it would be different. But the moment the individual breaks away from the basic patterns of society, he is in trouble. And he will remain in trouble until he finally is brought back into line. So we see around us lots of young people today who are badly frightened. Frightened over narcotics. Frightened over many of the mores of modern living. Frightened of dissipation. And afraid of the weaknesses in themselves. The discovery of internal weakness can be a destructive factor, or it can be an inspiration for the individual to mend his ways. So time is the problem we have. This time is limited. This time is something that gives us only a few years in which to do something. Now we know that we have social responsibilities. We know that we have responsibilities to the bodily needs of the place in which we dwell. We know that we have to contribute to the support of society. We know that we have to have some kind of income or compensation for effort in order that we can live and eat and have shelter over our heads and educate our children. These are jobs. These are duties. But on account of the civilization we're in, most of the charm of these duties has disappeared. It used to be that many jobs were inspiring. It took something to be a good shoemaker. And when you were a master shoemaker, you were a person of consequence. Now this type of ability is comparatively lost. It is only in the arts, practically, that any individual initiative is recognized. For the rest, we are expected to become machine operators. We are expected to punch buttons. We are expected to follow the patterns of increasing industrial complexity. And at the same time, we are gradually being displaced. Little by little, we are losing our leadership over the machines that we invent. The reason, of course, is obvious. As we invent the machine, we give up our individuality. We try to depend upon the machine to think for us, work for us, and labor for us, in order that we may do nothing and enjoy it. This isn't working out at all. If we are gradually becoming unemployed because we are busy making a profit, creating the instruments that are going to displace us. We are doing everything possible on the ground that idleness is the supreme achievement, that the individual should spend his life having fun. So he's creating machines that take him out of work in order that he may have fun by not working. But fun without work is not very pleasant if you have no way of making a living. So we are just losing common sense. And with the loss of it, we're losing our leadership in the world in which we live. We are not protecting our domains as animals do. We are not taking care of our young as birds do. We are simply doing as little as we can because the intuitive, instinctual part of our own nature has been blocked. And also we find that those things we need to do are least profitable. And profit is measured only in terms of gain or pain. So here we are with this time on our hands. What are we going to do about it? Well, one of the things we have to think of in connection with it is that life is a many splendored thing. We are not just simply here to punch buttons. We are not here to just simply sit in an office and write torts. We are here for a multitude of purposes. And the leisure time that we buy by constant acceptance of responsibility is a very precious commodity, something that should not be wasted watching rock music or murder films on TV. There are more things to do. The individual has a self within him to bring out. He has capacities he's not even interested in developing. And yet within himself, he today carries the greatest potential of any living creature on the earth. Man has the power to be that which he is willing to accept the responsibility for. But he wants no responsibility. He wants to do as he pleases. He wants not to work, but to spend. And to keep on spending without keeping on earning comes to a bad end. It is the same in almost everything we do. We are flattered into extravagance. We are wasting constantly what we cannot afford. And we're living beyond our means in the majority of instances, simply because we do not care about a future. We do not care about a world we're going to leave behind sometime.
if we leave it behind, let it take care of itself. Perhaps some of our ancestors said that, and that's why we're in so much trouble. But regardless of how you look at it, these years that we have, these hours a day, maybe 2 or 3 hours a day, are available for something better than wasting. Something better than trying to bury our boredom. Something that is more valuable to us than trying to forget that we do have a life and hoping that by forgetting and taking our mind away from facts that we can drift slowly into oblivion with the bridge card in one hand. This is the type of thing that we want to try to do. Many older people now are just trying to fill up time. They have no real initiatives, no values, and yet they have within them the most powerful force